Donald Trump's deeply irresponsible conspiracy theory on the Buffalo man injured by police. Trump tweets Buffalo protester shoved by police could be an Antifa provocateur. 75-year-old Martin Gogino pushed away after appearing to scan police communications in order to black out the equipment. Watched, he fell harder than he was pushed, was aiming scanner, could be a setup. Conspiracy theory, hey? Well, I guess it's time for a CS theory. So we've all seen this video clip, officer seen pushing man to the ground. So there's this post on Twitter as well as a website showing these photos showing a weird bump on the back of the guy's head and then a fake blood kit, and it says the yellow line goes inside the mask around the ear, and then it's like the blood comes pouring out. So in this photo you can see that he's holding something in his left hand. But what's weird is that there's actually these lines, but those are actually false, and I'll prove it. Video that was taken in the other angle, you can see in this photo that he actually has two masks on. So that means he has two different types of straps, and that would actually make an account for the rubber band. And you can actually see it on this side as well as the other side. But that doesn't account for what he's holding in his hand, as well as people are saying what's in this man purse or pouch here. So clearly this theory is fake, but how could they actually possibly do this if this was actually Antifa or set up actually by the police or the government themselves in theory? So by taking a closer look at this photo, you can see that clearly that the blood either is coming from the eardrum or there's a shadow above it, and it looks like it's coming from above it. And people are saying that it was coming from this tube here, but really, what if it was actually coming from his neck? Because in this photo, it almost looks like above the yellow line, there's a little bit of blood, unless that's actually a shadow. But in theory, if you look closer at this photo here, you could actually draw a line from the ear all the way through the neck, all the way up to where his hand is being used. And that's a possible theory. It's not the truth. It probably is fake, but it's just a conspiracy theory. And it's fake because on this side you can see his neck vein, as well as on the other side you can see a neck vein, unless possibly this side the neck vein failed. Well, they could easily cover a line or a tube with fake skin. Also, there's another video saying Gugino was trying to start something, says protesters.
That's what he's looking to get your ass. He's been saying it for too long. It's been happening. I haven't done anything. At some point, that's why the country burns. He said he can't. Like the city of South Carolina, and her team was 18 years old.
First off, what's up with all that tubing and what's on his hand? No, this is just a conspiracy theory, and the thing is that it's actually real. The guy actually got pushed, and he actually got hurt, and he's injured, and he's actually in the hospital, and his lawyer actually had to make a statement about it. Basically states that interviews with Gugino have been turned down because he's still in the hospital and due to his medical condition. His attorney says Trump's tweet is a dark and dangerous untrue accusation. Martin has always been a peaceful protester because he cares about today's society, Zarkon said, which is his lawyer. He says that also that he loves his family and no law enforcement has suggested otherwise, so we're at loss to understand why the President of the United States would make such a dark, dangerous, and untrue accusation against him. Twitter said it considers Trump tweets speculative and did not violate the platform's rule, the Post reported. His tweet said he said it should apologize for the reprehensible, dumb comment, calling it written with no proof whatsoever. He also said angrily, "Do you think it was staged? Question mark. Do you think the blood coming out of his head was staged? Question mark." See, this is why conspiracy theories are very dangerous and very deadly, because it can ruin things. And even the president of the United States, Donald Trump, has started to believe that this might be a conspiracy theory, that this guy might actually be there agitating and it was actually a fake and a hoax, but it was actually real. This dude was actually pushed and he was hurt. Maybe he was actually trying to agitate the police to get a reaction, and he didn't actually realize he was going to get that hurt, and he actually did hit his head and he got hurt, and now he's in the hospital. Unless it's like this huge cover up and he actually didn't get hurt and it's a really good fake and a hoax, and yeah, they're just like covering it up to make the police look bad and stuff like that. But no, from what I understand, he actually did get hurt. So Trump's probably right. He probably was an Antifa agitator, or he was just a peaceful protester trying to agitate the police and ended up getting it backfired in his face. Also, the two Buffalo officers were charged with assault after video showed the police shoving the 75-year-old man. And because of those two officers being fired, New York State Police said 57 police resigned from team to support officers suspended for the shoving of the 75-year-old man. So I honestly believe that this is real and that people are just creating conspiracies because they have nothing better to do but try to like spin things and create theories and stuff. Unless, like I said, this is like a crazy, really good fake, but I highly doubt it. So, in conclusion, there's only three possibilities that I could think of. One is that this is actually an Antifa provoker that actually faked this to make the police look really bad so that people actually get angry and then like start like getting mad at the police and stuff like that and protest even more. Two, maybe the police or the government was actually behind it and maybe hired him on and made this and actually faked it. The reason behind that was so that they could actually fire the police officers and then notice the 57 other police officers quit also. So then there's going to be no more police on the streets. Then there's going to be complete chaos. And then the people are going to basically beg for Trump's help. And then he's going to have to send in military and declare martial law. Three, which is the truth in my mind and just in my opinion, is that he went up to the police to agitate them, to cause a scene, didn't actually expect to hit his head, fell backwards, hit his head, and now he's in the hospital. And if somebody can actually verify that he's in the hospital and he's hurt, then that would actually clear all speculation and conspiracies. But until then, from what we understand, he's serious injury and he's in the hospital and he can't actually like say anything because he hit his head. You get brain damage and stuff like that. You suffer a TBI is actually very serious.
So hopefully I was able to shed some light on the situation and debunk what was going on the internet, as well as what people were claiming is fake, hoax, and as well as Trump claiming or falsely claiming that the guy might be Antifa, possibly. I believe this is 100% real. I believe he went up to them as a protester, wasn't expecting to be pushed that hard, fell back and hit his head. Either this is 100% real or a really, really good fake. So let me know in the comments below, what do you believe? Do you believe that this was just an innocent guy that ended up getting hurt? Do you believe that he was actually Antifa trying to make the police look bad and it backfired? Or is this all one big massive conspiracy theory? The police, the military, the government, he's all behind this conspiracy theory and it's a really good fake and they have like a fake hose and all that. But nah, it's that's all just a conspiracy theory just to make the situation look very bad. But the thing is in reality, it's already a bad situation, and I can't believe people would try to say that it's fake or whatnot, and then try to bash Trump for saying that he was a possibly Antifa supporter, which he might have been. He might have been. Who knows? He might be. But the thing is that regardless if he's Antifa or not, he's a protester. People said that he was trying to agitate. And clearly, he got what he wanted. He went up to the cops. He tried to agitate them. They pushed him. I guess he stumbled backwards and didn't expect to fall that hard. Ended up hitting his head, and now he's in the hospital apparently. And yeah, so other than that, if there's no more updates or anything, they should go and double check on him in the hospital and everything. But from what I understand, this is real. It's hard to fake something like that. And if they did fake it and everything like that, that's just horrible. If they do prove that this is fake or a hoax or a setup or whatnot, then whoever's involved should be held responsible and they should all be charged. Even if it's the police, the military, the government, whoever's involved, they need to start being held responsible. And that's the whole thing. I was watching Epstein Filthy Rich on Netflix last night. If you haven't seen it, you definitely have to watch it. People aren't getting mad about that, and that blows my mind because Prince Edward, from what I understand, was actually accused by two people of being seen and with an underage girl. The underage girl herself, as well as some dude that was on the island working and saw it. So you have two witnesses as well as a photo, and yet Prince Edward hasn't been arrested or brought in for charges or anything. So it just shows you that the rich and the famous, or if you have connections, can really get away with absolutely anything. And if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't seen the Filthy Rich Epstein, you're gonna watch it because he got away with so much just because of his connections and how rich he was. And I gotta cover that because there's more to it, and people need to wake up and realize that there's more going on. I understand Black Lives Matter, but there's like hundreds of kids that are disappearing every day. There's hundreds of kids that are being trafficked off, and nobody's realizing it. We got to start covering other topics, getting awoke, getting mad, and actually making people held responsible for their actions, making the system held responsible. Because, like I said, when you watch the Epstein documentary, you realize that not only that he was criminal, there's so many other people that were involved that were criminal and that were allowing it that should be pursued, but there aren't. As well as like the attorney general, there's like all these other people that basically gave him a free pass, a free get out of jail free card, basically because of his connections, his money, probably bribed him. I'm not sure, but the whole thing is that they should all be held responsible too. A couple of them resigned, and they're living peacefully with their life. But no, the thing is that if you get caught doing something corrupt or wrong as a political person or in the government, you shouldn't just have to resign your position. No, you should be criminally pursued and charged because you are in a position of power and you're abusing that power for your own benefit or personal gain or to help somebody else. And that is completely wrong, illegal, immoral. And we need to start waking up to this because we think the police are bad. And yeah, there's good and bad in everybody, the police, humans, us, everybody. But the thing is that the people, the puppet masters, the ones that are really in charge, are very corrupt. And that's the thing is Epstein, a guy that was convicted and like not convicted, but was being charged and convicted of being with underage girls, hundreds of underage girls, had connections with Donald Trump, had connections with Bill Clinton, had celebrities, you name it, and none of these people have been investigated. And it really makes you wonder why, because if they actually started to investigate or really look into it, it makes me really wonder if the whole American country or the government and the whole system would just collapse because they realize how corrupt it is and the crimes that they have committed not only towards their own people but their own country and everything, and it's just like it's a borderline. It's like treason. So I'm gonna have to cover that and go into detail. I do suggest looking at that Filthy Rich Epstein documentary if you haven't. It's gonna literally make you upset and angry, and people should be protesting over that, and nobody ever protested over that, and it just really blows my mind. So we do need to wake up. We do need to change things. We need to use our platforms, our voices, to speak up and to change things. And like the other day, I was dealing with a cop, and I even told him, "I have a camera, but you don't have a camera. That's wrong. You should have a camera because you're in a position of power that you can abuse that power." And it's literally like a cop's word against ours, which is just it's not right. Everything's just completely wrong, and we need to change everything for the better. My bad. It's Prince Andrew. That's the one that was actually accused, but also on photo with this girl. So if you just watch the video, it just blows my mind. Even Epstein's lawyer was accused of being with this girl, and when he denies it on the show, his eyes twitching, and he even says something along the lines of being with her 6 or 7 times, which is kind of weird that he would even admit or state that something along the lines of being with her 6 or 7 times, and then she even verifies that she was with him probably 6 times. So indirectly, he's admitting his guilt, and these people haven't been arrested or anything or pursued, investigated, nothing because they're protected like government officials or high up, celebrities or whatnot. And yeah, no, things need to definitely change. And a lot of these people are getting old, so we definitely need to pursue them and investigate them and prosecute them with charges before they end up getting too old and they pass away or they end up, disappearing, because that's what's going to happen soon. And one more thing before I go, Bill Clinton even denied being friends with like Epstein, denied being on the island, but then there's track logs showing that he's been on his island 67 times. So Bill Clinton should also be investigated because he clearly lied on video. And if you're lying about something about just being on an island for dinner and then going back, clearly you're hiding a lot more sinister, scary things. These protests and all this stuff is to basically keep us busy and confuse us and distract us from what's really going on around us. And like I said, there's tons of kids disappearing off the streets. I even saw like an ad saying during the protest a kid disappeared, and like nobody's really talking about it, and it's just everything else that's going around in the world. If you look at Africa, every country over there is suffering, and it's just horrible. People need to wake up and get their priorities straight. And like I said before, nothing's going to change if you just keep holding cops accountable. It's the people that are like in the courts, the judges, the lawmakers, the politicians, the government, the puppet masters. You have to go after them. And yes, we need to make everybody held accountable. Everybody should have cameras, even judges in their rooms, so that you make sure that they're not making backdoor deals and being bribed. Like everything should be translucent in the public. I should be able to go onto the police thing and look up stuff and do things and see cases transparent and translucent, but it's not. It's all hush hush secret. If I want to look up my cases and my record, I can't. I have to like put in a bunch of stuff and get it, and even then they won't even submit it to me. I ended up doing that and they sent me a disc and it was all like blacked out. So like it's completely hush hush, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and in the position and power that they are, it's just an abuse of power, an abuse of their system, and yeah, makes me realize and wonder why more people aren't upset and outside protesting and getting angry. But I could ramble about this forever, so I'm gonna get going. I got some things to do. I'll be on hopefully live. I could cover some of these topics and we'll go from there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you believe the situation is, as well as like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. I really truly do appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and God bless you all.